and welcome to Forever's online training. My name's Louise Riley and I'm the advisory board member for the UK, Ireland and Iceland. We're going to go through our first module, and the areas that we're going to cover in this module are the global marketplace, drinking gels, key nutrients for the digestive system, foods and serotonin, kitchen cupboard items, thermogenesis and metabolism, fibre, and finally bioavailability. It's important to look at our global marketplace. So first of all, let's look at some of the stats. The fitness, mind and body, $595 billion US. Healthy eating, nutrition and weight loss is $702 billion US. Some more stats for you is looking at obesity. If you look on the left-hand side of this particular slide, you can see that 2/3 of adults are known to be obese, and 1/4 of the 2 to 10-year-olds and 1/3 of 11 to 15-year-olds are actually overweight or also obese. When you look at the right-hand side of the slide, you can see that this can have an effect on our health. It's important to understand that as far as our products go, we have a whole range of supplements, but supplements are there to support a healthy eating and exercise plan. So let's have a look at our products and understand the role of our products, and not just as part of a weight management program. The first thing we're going to look at is our Forever Aloe Vera drinking gels. And it all starts with our plain gel. And of course, what you can do, you can choose on our weight management program any of the drinks that we have in the range. But let's start with our first plain drinking gel. Now, this is our Forever Aloe Vera drinking gel. And the process that you've already seen on the video is showing you what we call our aseptic process. And this is where we are keeping this particular product as nature intended. It is totally preservative free. This particular drink contains 99.7% aloe vera, and the other 0.3% is actually coming from a little bit of citric acid and also vitamin C. Now, what I want to do is just first of all show you the consistency. And what's quite interesting about our aloe, as you can see, there aren't any bits in it. Now, the reason there aren't any bits in it, it has actually gone through a process like a food presser. It's been blitzed a few more times to keep it really, really smooth. And that is because of the aseptic process. So you've still got lots of goodness in here. When you look at our drinking gel, the 99.7% aloe vera and that 0.3% that's been added to it is keeping it as nature intended, but there are 75 known nutrients in here. Now, why do people drink aloe vera? Most people want to have great skin, hair and nails. They want to have a good, strong immune system, digestive system. They don't want to be tired. They want to be the best that they can be. And that's why people have a shot of aloe every day. How much is a serving size? If you look on the side of the container, it says the average serving size is 120 ml. But of course, if you want to drink more, drink more. Our drinking gel contains 75 known nutrients. But it's important to understand that to make a claim about what's in the product, there has to be at least 15% of the recommended intake of a nutrient present. Or to say it's a rich source of, there has to be 30% of the recommended intake present. So even though our drinking gel has all of those wonderful nutrients, that there isn't over 15% of any particular one apart from vitamin C, because what we've done, we've added some more vitamin C. If you were to look at the information on the side, you can see at the bottom that it actually talks about vitamin C, and it has per 100 mils a 70% of the recommended intake. Right, so let's look at our next drink. That's the peaches. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to pour this one out, and you can see the difference. Now, the consistency is exactly the same, and the difference between the two is really your preference of what you want to have, what your palate's like really. So I would say the plain gel is a little bit like grapefruit juice, but then the peaches, if you have a sweeter tooth, this is the one that you'd probably prefer. Now, we've added peaches and also grape juice. The difference, again, this one contains 84.3% aloe vera, and the other ingredients is coming from the peaches and the grape juice and also that vitamin C and citric acid. Let's look at our third drink. This is the aloe berry nectar, and we'll have a look at this one. Now, I would say if you like something a little bit fruity, this is the one that you may prefer. And as I said, you can drink as much as you want, you can mix and match them, you don't have to stay to one particular drink. And this is the fruitier one with the cranberries and the apples, and the percentage of aloe vera we have in here is 90.7% aloe vera, and as I said, the cranberries and the apples, the vitamin C is added. So these are our 3 drinks that we have that are done with our aseptic process. And our aseptic process means that we are delivering to you aloe vera as nature intended and totally preservative free. So let's take a look at a few more benefits of our drinking gels. They are all brilliant digestive aids, and they are high, as I've already mentioned, in vitamin C. Now, it's the vitamin C that can contribute to the normal function of the immune system and to a normal energy yielding metabolism, plus the protection of cells from oxidative stress. It supports the immune function and also great for skin health. Now, of course, we also have what we call our minis, and these are great because they stack nicely in the fridge. You can pop them in your sports bag, and they are go anywhere products. As I've already mentioned, drinking aloe vera is something that can support a healthy digestive system. So what we want to have a look at in a little bit more detail is what we need to have a healthy digestive system. If you can see on the slide, here's a list of the key nutrients that we need, and our body is constantly striving to be in balance, and this word is homeostasis. So when we're describing any of our products, it's very important to make sure that we're not making any particular claims, but we're always referring back to our body wanting to be normal, or you can also use the word balance. As you can see, our digestive system needs a whole array of vitamins, so vitamin A, our B vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin D, as well as minerals, calcium, chromium, choline, magnesium. Water is a key nutrient, and also fibre, which is a carbohydrate, is something that our digestive system needs as well to help the movement of foods through our body at a great rate. Then we have digestive enzymes, and some digestive enzymes that are important for our system is lipase, which is going to do with our lipids or our fats. We have amylase, which is breaking down our carbohydrates. And then we have protease, that is breaking down our proteins. Another interesting component of the digestive system is an amino acid called L-glutamine. So why am I sharing this information with you? It's interesting to know that aloe vera in small amounts contains all of the vitamins and minerals, some of the digestive enzymes, as well as the amino acid. Another important factor, as you can see, our digestive system likes to be in a pH, an alkaline pH. apart from the stomach, where obviously the stomach has stomach acid. But every other part of our body, as it likes to be in balance, likes to be normal, it wants to be in an alkaline state. The next product that I want to talk about is our Forever Light Ultra. Now we have two flavours. We have our chocolate, which is very sweet, and then we also have the vanilla. And once again, I like to refer to these products as kitchen cupboard items because I think it's important to understand that these are products that are so versatile. You can use them for lots of different areas. For example, you might want to have it as a smoothie, you could have it as a breakfast, you can make pancakes, you can even make ice cream. If you're busy and haven't got time for a meal, it's perfect to give your body all the nutrients that it needs. So let's have a look at it in more detail and see how versatile this product is and give you a few facts. But what I'd like to do is share with you when we're looking at information on the actual package, because it's really understanding our product to be able to share it with others. As you can see on the front of the pack, it says 24 grams of protein per serving. So the 24 grams of protein is actually coming from a mixture of the powder from the shake, but also if we turn it over on the back, the serving is also including milk. So the 24 grams of protein is actually coming from a combination of the powder and also the milk. How much protein do you get in the product per scoop? If we look at the other side, it says here per 100 grams, and each scoop is a quarter of that, that's 25 grams. If you want to know exactly what you're getting in your shake, then you are literally, very simply, going down this column here and dividing it by 4. If you look at the protein content on the actual packet, we will divide it by 4, and that means we're going to get per scoop 14 grams of protein per scoop of powder. And that can make a difference to what you mix it with, to the product that you actually have, and that's why it is so versatile. So let's have a look at some facts. As I've already mentioned, 24 grams of protein when it's mixed with skimmed milk. Of course, you're still going to get 24 grams of protein if you mix it with semi-skimmed milk or whole milk, because it's only the amount of fat that has been removed from the milk and not the protein. If you change what you want to mix it with, then you are going to change maybe the carbohydrate content or also the protein content. You can choose to mix it with water. Now, if you're mixing it with water, each of the scoops of the powder are going to give you 96 calories. So if you're mixing it with water, you're only going to have a drink that is going to give you 96 calories. So that's quite low. If you're going to mix it with soya milk, now soya has the same protein content as cow's milk. Now that would then give you, if you're mixing with 300 mils, it's going to give you that 24 grams of protein. There are some alternatives there you can see, for example, hemp, and hemp is high in good fats. And then you have almond milk. Almond milk is quite low calorie. We have rice milk that is very gentle on our digestive system. And then one of my favourites is actually oat milk. Now, oat milk is something that I will talk about later when we are going through the module to do with sports performance, because that is going to give us more carbohydrates. Sometimes people are going to ask you the question to do with sugar. One of the important things to remember that our body runs on natural sugars. Our body breaks down carbohydrates into glucose, fructose and galactose, and our body's favourite fuel is actually glucose. So when you see sugar in the product, it is actually the glucose or the fructose that our body loves to run on. If you look at the left-hand column, it shows you that per scoop of the powder you're getting 2 grams of sugar, but that is obviously coming from the fuel, it's the carbohydrate. If you look at the per serving, you can see it's showing 16. So 16 grams of sugar is actually coming from the sugar that you get in cow's milk, which is called lactose. For obvious reasons then, if you want to keep your sugar content down, it's probably best not to mix it with cow's milk because of the lactose. As I've already mentioned, it's a great product to have in your kitchen cupboard because you can make some delicious pancakes, ice cream, and even you can sprinkle it on your porridge because alongside having the protein and the carbohydrates, you have a balance of key nutrients that your body needs every single day. The protein that we use in our shakes is soy protein, and the soy protein that we have is GM free. So let's have a look at some of the components that you get in soy protein. First of all, the soy protein is comprised of 30% carbohydrates. Now, carbohydrates is actually broken down into different parts, including fibre. So fibre is actually a carbohydrate, you get 15%. 38% is protein, 18% is oil, and also 14% is moisture. Soy contains all the 9 essential amino acids, and this is the perfect number for ensuring our health and well-being. Importantly, it contains high amounts of the amino acids arginine and glutamine, and that is actually something that people look for, especially if they are active and into sports. Very importantly, protein is known to contribute to the maintenance of muscle mass as well as growth in muscle mass. When people are looking at weight management, one of the areas that people are really concerned about is maybe their sugar cravings. So this is a really interesting part of the module where we're going to understand a little bit more about how the brain and how our gut work together around something called a hormone serotonin. So serotonin is often referred to as your happy hormone, and it's a chemical that we have in the brain as well, and it can affect our mood, also our sleep, our appetite, as well as our digestion. 30% of the serotonin is also found in other areas of the body, including your nervous system and your blood platelets. And it is actually synthesized from an amino acid called tryptophan. Tryptophan is found in different kinds of foods, especially those that are good sources of protein. And tryptophan is found specifically in high levels in turkey, salmon, cheese, tofu, as well as eggs. Certain foods that you eat can affect how you feel, and that is why often people will enjoy having refined sugar, because refined sugar can have an effect on the serotonin that resides in your gut. I'm sure you're aware that if you're feeling a little bit down, there's nothing nicer than an ice cream that can make you feel better. This is because refined sugar can have an effect on how you feel because of the serotonin that resides in your gut. But of course, we can have an effect on how we feel, what we can call our feel-good foods, in a healthier option. So let's have a look at some of the other options that are out there. Why not have a handful of walnuts, or banana, pineapple, kiwis or plums, tomatoes and dates and papaya. as well as what we call our super green vegetables, a handful of nuts and seeds, or even some oats. There's something on there that probably is a new ingredient to you, and that is tamarind. Now, tamarind is something you can find in supermarkets as a paste that you can add to cooking. And tamarind is something that we know in our supplements as, it's actually Garcinia. So Garcinia cambogia is another name for tamarind. So let's have a look at this product and see why Garcinia is used today as a weight management supplement. The Garcinia, or the tamarind, contains an ingredient in the rind called hydroxycitric acid. Hydroxycitric acid, or HCA, is an ingredient that can have an effect on your digestive enzymes, especially amylase. And amylase is the digestive enzyme that breaks down your carbohydrates. Also, very importantly, this product contains the mineral chromium, and chromium contributes to normal blood glucose levels. And of course, for some people, they find that their blood glucose can spike or also drop. Medium chain triglycerides, also known as MCTs, is a component that is found in certain oils or fats, especially coconut oil, and that's why people like to use coconut oil in cooking. The Forever Garcinia Plus is a product that you can take to suit your lifestyle. It's important that you can take it before having a meal or even a snack. And if you find that you have those sugar cravings at maybe 10 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the afternoon, or even the 8 or 9 o'clock in the evening munches, then there's nothing wrong with taking a Garcinia about 30 minutes before the time that you would normally go into your snacking. And what is a great idea is to try some other snacks instead from the list that I have already given you. The next product is the Forever Lean. Now, with this particular product, it also has chromium in the product, so chromium is going to contribute to normal blood glucose levels, but it has the addition of these two botanicals. First of all, Indian fig, or Nepalese. You may have seen it growing wild in the Mediterranean. It has big pads which are quite fibrous and small fruits on the top. But we actually use the pad, and that is from the fibre, so we're putting some fibre into our body. And then the other ingredient is white kidney bean. And once again, the white kidney bean, very similar to tamarind, contains that ingredient hydroxycitric acid, or HCA. This product you would take immediately before you're having a meal that may be high in fats and also high in carbohydrates. When we're feeling sluggish, sometimes we feel we need to have a little bit of an energy kick, and it's easy then to reach for caffeine, because caffeine is known as a stimulant. There are a whole variety of caffeines. We have natural caffeines and we also have synthetic caffeines. But let's understand a little bit more about caffeine, because caffeine does have some great benefits for the body. So caffeine has long been considered an ergogenic aid, which means it helps with stamina as well as endurance. Its stimulant properties will increase alertness and concentration, and also may decrease a person's perception of effort. So for example, if you've had a shot of caffeine before you go to the gym and you get on the running machine, it doesn't feel so hard. And because it doesn't feel so hard, you feel that your exercise is easier and you can perform that exercise for longer. The International Olympic Committee, or the IOC, and the World Anti-Doping Agency actually removed caffeine from the banned list in 2004, and it is freely taken by athletes. And it is also known as having what we call thermogenic properties, which will increase heat, and thermogenesis comes in different formats. So we're going to have a look at that a little bit later on. We use 3 different kinds of caffeine. First of all, we have caffeine which comes from guarana seed. Now, guarana seed are actually strange little seeds that look like little eyes, actually. And the great thing about guarana seed is the caffeine that is released is what we call a slow release caffeine. And that doesn't give you what we call a spike. And we want to make sure we're avoiding having spikes as stimulants. The next ingredient is green tea. Green tea comes from the same tea plant as white tea and black tea. The only difference between the three is the amount of processing. And each of the teas all contain caffeine as well as having antioxidants. And then the final caffeine that we use comes from green coffee bean. And green coffee bean is the coffee before it is roasted. And before it is roasted, it has more antioxidants and nutritional properties. When we take a stimulant, the base of what happens is that our body is going into what we call our fight or flight mode. So a stimulant is going to have an effect on our adrenaline, and it's sending glucose to our cells, getting our body ready for action. The most important thing is to understand you can stimulate your adrenaline, but it's not a good idea to overstimulate your adrenaline because you've got to give your body time to recover from the last time that the adrenaline was released. Therefore, if you're enjoying having caffeine drinks, it's not a good idea to have caffeine drinks every hour, but you could spread it out and have a caffeine drink maybe every 3 to 4 hours. So the product that we have that contains those three ingredients is our Forever Therm. Remember, it has the caffeine that contains the green tea, the green coffee bean, and also guarana seed. Let's have a look at some of the other benefits from taking this particular product. Alongside having the caffeine, we've also added B vitamins and vitamin C. Now, B vitamins are known for their energy-giving properties as well as vitamin C. But alongside that, B1 is going to support normal psychological function. So that is your mood. B2, the protection of cells from oxidative stress. And when we're doing exercise, this is important because we are putting our body under stress. B5, often seen as pantothenic acid, is going to support our normal mental performance. So that's our stamina and endurance. And B6 and B12 are going to contribute to the reduction of tiredness and fatigue. Our Forever Therm is a product that you can decide to fit into your lifestyle. It can be something you can take if you're feeling a little bit tired, you're flagging, maybe you've been up early with the children, or you've had a long day, you're working long hours, you might be driving long distances, you could be working late, you could even be a shift worker. It's also a great product that you can take before you go and do a workout at the gym. And caffeine, as I said, is something that is recognised to take for stamina and endurance. Let's understand a little bit about thermogenesis and how that can have an effect on your metabolism. But thermogenesis is where we can create heat in our body. So let's have a look at the three ways that we can create heat. First of all, we have what we call exercise-associated thermogenesis. And I'm sure you're aware that when you do exercise, especially aerobic exercise, you start to feel hot. This is because your body is starting to burn fat that you have stored in your body. This normally happens after about 20 minutes plus of getting into doing aerobic exercise. Another interesting way of creating heat, and that is why often in the winter we go and eat food to warm ourselves up, and this is diet-induced thermogenesis. Because what happens when you start to eat, you are switching on your digestive system, and your digestive system needs to have energy to start to break down your food. Typically, when you are digesting food during the day, you're going to use about 10% of the total calories or the energy that is burnt. So for example, if you are taking into your body 2,500 calories a day, 250 of those calories are going to be burnt through digestion. And then the third way, which is of interest to us, is to look at thermogenic herbs and spices. And here's a list of some of them that you can use in your cooking, such as chili, horseradish, mustard, cinnamon, fennel, garlic, ginger, ginseng, guarana, and also green tea. And what happens is that when you are cooking with these or putting them into your body, the heat from these thermogenic herbs and spices can have an effect on your metabolism. What you have in the back of your neck, across your shoulders and down your spine is something called brown fat. And brown fat is a little bit like your thermostat. And this is going to generate 300 times more heat than any other fat. So of course, what we are looking at doing is activating our brown fat, because our brown fat in turn will go on to activate the white fat in our body. Fibre is a carbohydrate. We have 3 different kinds of carbohydrates in our body. We have the fibre, we have sugar, and we have starches. So fibre is actually going to help with the movement of foods through your gastrointestinal tract, which we also can refer to as our gut or our digestive system. There are 2 different kinds of fibre. We have soluble fibre as well as insoluble fibre. I want to talk about insoluble fibre. This is the food that is good for your healthy bacteria within your body. So our healthy bacteria needs to have its own supply of nutrients to be able to keep your immune system and your body's natural defense system strong and healthy. We can find the fibre in certain foods such as chicory, aloe, also Jerusalem artichoke. As you can see from the slide here, there's a bowl full of different forms of fibre that come from oats, as well as dried fruits and nuts and seeds. When we're looking at making sure that we're getting the right amount of fibre, this is to give balance to what we call our gastrointestinal tract time. What is important is to make sure that our food isn't going through our body too quickly, because you have to ask the question, is your body actually absorbing nutrients? If your food is going through your digestive system too slowly, you have to ask the question, are you now absorbing toxins back into your body? So a really good gastrointestinal tract time is on average around about 16 to 18 hours from when you've consumed a meal. So this is our Forever Fibre, and if I open the container, you can see that the fibre comes in these really handy sticks. And each of the stick is going to give you 5 grams of fibre, and within this we have the soluble and insoluble fibre. The great thing about the fibre is you can take this to suit yourself. You can put in your aloe vera drinking gel or your shake. You can put it into desserts, or you can sprinkle it into yogurts. You can even put it into soups and casseroles to suit yourself. How much fibre do we need every day? Well, the average adult needs to be having around about 30 grams of fibre. When you're looking at fibre, which is the insoluble fibre, which is going to be the food for your healthy bacteria, this is often referred to as FOS, which is fructooligosaccharides. You sometimes see it as GOS, which is galacto-oligosaccharides, or we even have a fibre on our little daily supplement, which is AOS, aloe-oligosaccharides. And within our Forever Fibre, we actually have the form of FOS, fructooligosaccharides. We also have our aloe blossom tea. And as the name implies, we literally take the blossom from the top of the aloe plant. In our tea bags, alongside our aloe blossom, we've also added chamomile. And lots of people love to drink chamomile tea for its soothing and a calming effect on the body as well as the mind. Bioavailability. This is a word that is associated with supplements. So bioavailability is the degree to which a nutrient is available to the body to use, and the rate that a supplement is absorbed within the body after it has been administered. Therefore, taking a certain amount of product doesn't always correlate with the amount received by the body. It is a complex process involving several different stages: liberation, absorption, distribution, metabolism, as well as the elimination phase. So often you will see this referred to as the Lad-May phase. So various botanicals have low bioavailability. So in conclusion, it's not just about what we eat or what we absorb, it's how our body can use what we choose to put in our body. Our body runs on chemicals. These are biochemicals. These are nature's chemicals, and we know these chemicals as nutrients. Carbohydrates, proteins, and fats can be broken down into micronutrients, which we know as amino acids, fatty acids, as well as glucose, fructose, and galactose. The important thing is to make sure that our digestive system is the best that it can be, and we take our supplements that will give us these wonderful nutrients alongside a healthy eating and exercise plan. You have now completed Module 1 of the Aloe Sports and Weight Management online training. To test your knowledge and recap what you have learnt, go to the quiz with the link on the screen.